begin this 5 on 5 with a look at the future. My Bronx Athlete of the Week goes to a Cardinal Hayes star on the rise. Ian Jackson was one of the youngest players in the Slam Summer Classic last weekend at Rucker Park in Harlem. TV play-by-play provided by yours truly. Shameless plug right there. But it did not stop the class of 2024 superstar in the making from putting on a show in his hometown against the top high school players in the country. Captain Jack razzled and dazzled all weekend long, and that included not just standout play in the game at Rucker, but also some shifty moves at Gaucho's gym right here in the South Bronx a day prior during the three-point and slam dunk festivities. Jackson has already received a ton of offers schools like UConn and St. John's, but I expect to see him at a powerhouse program like Duke or UNC next year. Because he's Captain Jack, of course. Ian Jackson and summer basketball take the top spot here on the front end of 5 on 5 this morning. That includes an exciting conclusion to the Hoops in the Sun Roundball Classic out at Orchard Beach. The youth teams, the Women's League, and the Men's Pro Division signing off last Sunday afternoon, highlighted by Kadar Superman Edwards taking home the MVP honors and the men's championship game between DD Sean Bell and the Brooklyn Stompers. Another thrilling summer is in the books here for some terrific summer basketball in the NYC. In the fourth spot, our weekly Aaron Judge Report, or I should just say Judge Report. The Yankee star continues his pursuit of the 60 home run mark, a number only 5 players in Major League Baseball history have ever reached. And while the single-season home run record could be a difficult number for him to attain, thank you, Mr. Barry Bonds, he could make a run at the American League record set by the late, great Yankee star Roger Maris. That number, of course, 61 in 1961. Thus far, Judge has launched 46 home runs in about 120 regular season games. Not going to be easy, but I would expect him to come very close. I mean, really close. According to projections, the most likely exact outcome at the moment is 59 home runs at 11.1%, and he has a 56.1% chance of reaching at least 59 dingers this season, according to projections. Judge remains the brightest of bright spots for the Yankees, especially in a rough month of August for the club. We shift gears from one Yankee to another here at number 3. Bronx Bomber rookie Oswaldo Cabrera has hit the major leagues and announced his late season call-up with authority, especially out in the field, where he has looked very much like Judge and Derek Jeter. Yes, indeed. Just like Jeets 18 years ago at the old Yankee Stadium, the newcomer put his body in harm's way, chasing down a foul pop that was headed towards the third base stands in the third inning of last Saturday's loss to divisional rival Toronto. Playing third base in his 4th big league game in 4 days since his first call-up from AAA Scranton, Cabrera might have topped his homer-robbing catch above the right field wall in the first inning of his first game in Pinstripes just days earlier. Who needs Judge anyway? Welcome to the show, kiddo. Your energy and play is most welcome here in the BX. In the 2 spot, and on this date in Bronx sports history, another gem courtesy of the Pinstripers, looking back on some players that were also great in their early seasons with the Yankees. We hop back in our time machine and turn back the clock to August 26th, 2002 for my guy, Alfonso Soriano. Boy, oh boy, he was good back then. August 26, 2002 at the old Yankee Stadium, Soriano blasts a solo shot in the 4th inning in the team's 10-3 victory over the Texas Rangers. In doing so, he sets a team record for home runs by a second baseman for the Yankees. The previous mark of 30 was established in 1940 by Joe Gordon. Soriano, of course, would eventually be dealt for superstar Alex Rodriguez, but later returned to the Yankees for a second stint before his career was over in the bigs. A fan favorite for our fans here in the Bronx, indeed. The good old days, as they say, and on this date in Bronx sports history, courtesy of Alfonso Soriano and the Yankees. And at number 1 on the front end, another Yankee great, and one that finally gets the credit that he truly deserves. Last Sunday, the Yankees retired his number 21, making him the 23rd player or manager in the franchise's history honored in such a way. I'm talking about Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill Day here in the Bronx. More on his legacy in my C-list. Stay tuned. To the back end of 5 on 5 we go. NASCAR heads from New York to Daytona, Florida this weekend. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. This follows an exciting weekend at Watkins Glen in upstate New York last weekend, where former Formula One champion Kimi Räikkönen was making his Cup Series debut in NASCAR. Räikkönen completed 44 laps on his return to NASCAR before he was punted into the barriers and out of the race at the Glen. The 2007 F1 World Champion was making a one-off appearance in the Cup Series, driving for Trackhouse Racing's Project 91 team. That team has been set up to bring international drivers to NASCAR. As for the race itself in New York State, Kyle Larson took his first lead of the race with 5 laps remaining. Larson completed the rare weekend sweep at Watkins Glen International with a clutch win in the NASCAR Cup Series Go Bowling at the Glen on Sunday. Larson made a dramatic pass on his Hendrick Motorsports teammate Chase Elliott on a restart with 5 laps to go on the historic road course in Watkins Glen. Here's more from the winning driver.
I figured day 2 he'd be a little bit more aggressive behind me than yesterday, but thankfully our car was good enough I could gap him.
Meantime, IndyCar is off this weekend following another win for Joseph Newgarden last weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The series returns in Portland in 2 weeks. Only 2 more races to go in IndyCar. Off the summer break, Formula One returns this weekend with the Belgian GP Sunday at 9 a.m. here in the States. At 2, the Yanks continue their road weekend series in Oakland out west after playing the Mets at the stadium earlier this week in the Subway Series Part 2. Meanwhile, the Mets continue their home weekend series with the Colorado Rockies out in Flushing, Queens. The Amazons come in here at number 3. At 4, the Giants and Jets renew their preseason rivalry at MetLife Stadium this Sunday. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff, and the Jets are the home team on paper. That will conclude the preseason for the 2 New York football teams, outside of the Buffalo Bills, of course. The regular season opener is just around the corner in early September. And at 5, the WNBA semifinals start this weekend. Been exciting to see the New York Liberty in the first round of the playoffs, even with a rough start in that series. We are getting closer to crowning a champion in the WNBA. We hit the C-list for a tribute to a champion here in the Bronx. Last Sunday's number retirement for the Yankees was drastically different from others that have been at the stadium in recent years, not only because Paul O'Neill isn't vaccinated against COVID-19, but also because the Pinstripers entered with 14 losses in their past 18 games on Sunday. That led to boos for Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman. Now, some of that may not be fair since the Yankees still sport a terrific record this season, but to me it got me thinking about how special the last dynasty was. How incredibly special it was. A dynasty that really began with the additions of Jimmy Key, Wade Boggs, and Paul O'Neill. Adding that trio to a mix that included Bernie Williams and Don Mattingly, and then later homegrown players like Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera set the tone for a time in Yankees history that may never be matched. Honestly, the Yanks were able to squeeze one more title out of that core in 2009, but the reality is the Pinstripers' last reign of true dominance came from 1996 until 2001. That's when the Warrior roamed in right field for the Yankees. A 4-time World Series champion as a Yankee, O'Neill was nicknamed the Warrior by the late, great owner, George Steinbrenner. O'Neill said during the ceremony, open quote, "The fans remember the teams that win, and we won a lot," close quote. Yes, you did, Paul, and you were at the center of it during that entire stretch. O'Neill hit .303 with 185 home runs and 858 RBIs for the Yankees from 1993 until 2001, hanging him up after that great World Series with the Diamondbacks. He was a 4-time All-Star with the team and won the 1994 American League batting title during a strike-shortened season. That could have been another World Series year for the Yankees and that group. He wore number 21 for his entire big league career, starting as a rookie with the Cincinnati Reds in 1985. And now, no other Yankee player will ever wear it again. Gene Michael and Buck Showalter changed the climate in that locker room by bringing O'Neill from the Reds to the Bronx in 1993, a trade for Roberto Kelly, who was a big-time player up and coming with the Yankees at the time. In turn, O'Neill helped make the Yankees great again. Tip of the cap to number 21. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.